Okay, so first of all, I'd like to appreciate for inviting me to this event and your leadership of this Asian Forum so long time. Anyway, I'd like to give a present. So I'm Ki-Joune Li. I'm working at Busan National University as a professor and also Dean of IT and Biomedical Engineering College. So today I will give a presentation on the policy of smart city in Korea, which is led by LH. LH stands for Land and Housing Corporation, which is one of the biggest national company in Korea. So they take care of the city development and urban planning and so on. So I'm not working for LH, but I have been working as a consultant for LH a long time ago. So I'd like to give a very short presentation on the history of smart city. So my presentation is not a very technical one. This is a kind of a general introduction of the history of smart city in Korea. All right. So this is the slide that I received from LH. This is quite a beautiful slide. Anyway, I'd like to start from the history of the smart city or urbanization in Korea. As you know, so the urbanization in Korea starts from the Korean War, which took place in 1950. So the Korean War was a very tragic event, but we may took advantage of this event that we can build the city from nothing. So we don't need to care of, for example, how to preserve the old monument or the cities and so on. So there is almost nothing, so we can design as we want. So that was a good things of that period. So according to the development of our industry from 1960s and 1970s, we smoothly start the urbanization because the many people left the company to cities, so we need a big city. So we try to build a kind of the apartment area or small scale cities from 1980s, and then we really start the urbanization or urban planning from 1990s. So which is the first generation. Then according to the development of IT technology like ubiquitous computing environment and so on, we really started the second generation of urbanization. So this is a very beginning of the urbanization in 1960s, and then 1970s. So we little by little built a small apartment, and one of the main driver of this kind of urbanization has been LH, so which is really good and the main player of this urbanization and smart cities. And from 1980s, we initiate a little bit bigger sized urban development. Then the real urbanization or city planning took place from 1990s. It is not only in Seoul metropolitan cities, but also around the Seoul metropolitan cities. So for example, here in Ilsan, which is very close to Seoul, this is entirely a new city. So we built a completely a new town. So this is the beginning of real smart city. So one of the big difference between smart city in Korea and smart cities in Europe or other countries. So we built really from nothing for smart city. So we may construct every kind of infrastructure from almost nothing. So from the field of rice, for example. Then And 2000, which is the beginning of the second generation of new town or urbanization, we introduced the IT technology like ubiquitous cities to build more better environment for life. Then this is so we come to the era of smart cities in Korea. So from 2003, we started the Ubiquitous City project, and the LH was the main driver, main player of that project. And from 2008, we tried to realize the real environment of smart city, covering, for example, the transportation and the environment and some place where we can experience the smart city technology and so on. So the concept of the smart city is, as I mentioned, it is to combine the IT technology with the several other requirements like the water management, transportation, and administration, and so on, public safety and housing. So this is the slide that shows the integration of IT technology and the new town planning. And this slide shows what's going on in Korea in terms of smart city project. There are many projects in Korea. So 73 cities in Korea, they are doing some smart city project. But I'd like to explain a little bit two cases. Here, I'm sorry that this is written in Korean. So it is called Sejong, which is a kind of a city where the complex of administration of central government is located. So this is a small city, but this is a really important city in Korea. And the LH is taking care of the smart city project in Sejong City. And another one is Busan, where I'm living. So here, because there is a big river around Busan, and so we call it the smart city project and Eco Delta City Planning. So this is to consider the natural environment and ecological the aspect of a smart city. So the goal is a little bit different. So the goal of Busan Eco Delta City is the kind of ecological viewpoint, but the Sejong is to provide more comfortable city environment. So Sejong is led by LH, and Busan Eco Delta City is led by LX. These LH and LX are the key members of OGC from Korea as well. All right, so I would like to give a more detailed explanation about the Sejong use the smart city project. So okay, so the other one is Pangyo, which is very close to Seoul, and this is also one of the important use case of a smart city. So this is also led by LH. So we try to implement, for example, the real traffic control and parking to detect the illegal parking environment and so on, and also provide the health care and so on. And as I told you, so Sejong is one of the big ambitious projects. So this is entirely the planned city. We try to implement this the smart city project. So this Sejong city is still under construction. So some part of Sejong is we have also buildings and complex for the government, but some of the part it is under construction. So we try to reflect the very the high technology for smart city. So this is the overall the picture, and of course we build the 3D city modeling in CityGML covering this the Sejong city. So and for some important public place in Sejong, we are building the data in IndoGML. All right, so these are the main feature of the smart city project in Sejong. Like so as I told you, some area of the Sejong is under construction. So before constructing the road, for example, or the building, so we can first apply some kind of simulation based on the smart city or digital twin cities, and we introduce a CCTV monitoring system and analyzing sunlight and landscape analysis. And finally, the goal is to provide a digital twin. That means on one hand, we have the reality with some augmentation, and on the other hand, we have the synchronized world from the real world to the virtual space. All right, and Dongtan is also a city where LH is planning for smart city. So this is the main feature of the Dongtan city. So this is also very close to Seoul. All right, and beside the domestic planning, LH is trying to collaborate with the foreign countries. So we have some they have some connection and collaboration, for example, Abdullah New Town or some other cities in Middle East. And also in terms of this internal collaboration, they launched OGC pilot project for 3D IoT integration. So that was happened in last year. All right. So the main strategy, so I'd like to explain the strategy of smart city. So we set up, so within the central government, they set up a structure for monitoring and serving as a control tower for planning and the establishment, and also they provide some legal foundation. And we also introduce some certification system of the smart cities and smart city services, and we build also some innovation space for incubating the industry. And we also support some R&D project to develop the high-tech technology. All right. Okay, so this is briefly the mission of the smart city from LH. Okay, that's it from my presentation. Right. So this is there is some place where you can experience the smart city technology. So if you are really interested in the smart city in Korea, particularly led by LH, then you may contact with LH or to me to have experience insight in some place in Korea. All right, that's all.
Okay, thank you, Professor Li. So I think once again from the attendance participants, are there any questions for Professor Li